Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Abdul Jabbar Khan and you are watching Dr. Abdul Jabbar Khan official YouTube channel. I am in weekly roundup. Many developments, many changes, many policies have emerged during past 1 week, and they are very dangerous at time, and they are very creating curiosity among the people, ordinary people. In America, what's happening in the name of the immigrants, that's very well known to you. Many planes full of illegal people have been undertaken, one from Frankfurt, second from Berlin. They were the Pakistani people, Afghani people. And many people have been kicked out of United States of America by the US. Just during the time Modi was talking and having got negotiations with the US administration. On the one hand, the second is the Ukraine war. What happened with Zelensky, it's very well known. You must have seen, all the YouTube channels are full of CNN, BBC, Fox, Sky. They were all carrying news. How he was handled at the Oval Office of White House, Zelensky. Actually, he was fighting on behalf of NATO and America, and he was disgraced. They say, he was not respectful. This is what the American says, and whereas Zelensky, he left from the White House, or he was either asked to leave and go back to your country. He went to London, had a meeting with the British Prime Minister, British King also, King Charles. And they held a very big meeting. That was the European leaders were there, all were invited, and they held negotiations and talks, extended full support to Ukrainian president. As against this, what happened? $500 billion deal. America is going to gain out of this war. And the same is the case. He threatened in very polite and soft words to MBS, Mohammed bin Salman. Previously, he was willing to provide an investment of $600 billion, and now what Trump said, that has been reported, that if you come out with $1 trillion, then I'm going to visit your country. He agreed. Now $1 trillion will be provided, $500 billion from Ukraine, and many more. This is what a business deal has been struck, and he calls that the Biden administration, the Biden president was the failure, the worst president America has ever seen. This is what Donald Trump has said. There are many areas. He wanted to have a nuclear deal with Iran. What is that deal? They wanted to create a deal or make a deal with the president of Iranian government and the Iranian Rahbar, Iranian leader, Ali Khamenei, that you should not develop any nuclear weapons. This is what America would ultimately demand. They have been demanding. They had been demanding from Saddam Hussein that you have weapons of mass destructions. So we have got a report that you have got and you will use it, you will deploy and make use of these weapons against Israel. Nothing happened, he died. And this is how they handle the, what Jim Mattis and other American journalists used to say, that we were given 5 countries, Gaza, Palestine, Lebanon, Libya, Syria, Iraq, and we handled them. Iran is the next 7th country to be handled. This is what they had a plan. That was a clandestine plan, And what they did, they dismantled the governments there in Libya, in Iraq, in Syria, and now they have a very big plan. I don't have any reservations in my mind what the America and Israel will do. They would first try to sort out with Iran, and its nuclear program, if at all they have. Certainly they should have. They will have a program of it. Pakistan did it. Pakistan proved it only on account of India. Actually, why Pakistan became a nuclear state, India was the major factor. In 1974, they demonstrated their nuclear strength and nuclear power explosion. And ultimately, Pakistan's all governments, including PPP Bhutto, General Zia, Ishaq Khan, and others, Musharraf and company, they all pursued the program. And that was a very successful program, nuclear missile program and nuclear atomic energy program. So, in the meanwhile, China emerges on the scene, and no sooner Trump came in power, a war of words started in the name of tariffs. Protection to the industry doesn't mean that you are going to put tariff on the products. And in most of the cases, in the State of the Union address, what President Trump has said, that India had more than 100% tariff protection to his industries and damaging the other ones. China has lodged a complaint with the WTO, World Trade Organization. Now the Canada also, Canadian Prime Minister Trudeau has also filed a complaint against America on the tariff protection and the tariff imposition. So this is the state of affairs. In all these propositions, in Myanmar, Arakan army, the independents, the rebels against the Myanmar military rule, Janata's rule, they got separated, not officially or formally, that has been announced, but they have got a big control on the Rakhine state. It is a control fully by their military rebels commander. And there lies the question of Rohingyas, who have suffered a lot from the Buddhists. The Rohingya Muslims suffered at the hands of the Rohingyas, the Burmese Buddhists. They suffered a lot. Who? Rohingyas. Now the President Yunus, chief advisor of Bangladesh, wanted to have a best possible program, settlement program for this. He will speak to the Chinese president, where he is scheduled to be there in a special plane, where the Chinese president will send him his plane to transport chief advisor Dr. Yunus, and he will go to Beijing, having got a very big agenda. Still the agenda has not been disclosed, but the question of China, Myanmar and Bangladesh economic corridor, that is going to be the main agenda point. And the second is that they have been very successfully managing the Indian factor. They addressed it very successfully, and they are making their own program. Now the Bhutan is also going to be neutralized. That had followed the line of Nepal previously. Now Nepal is in line with China. So these are the global changes that have taken place. A new government is going to be installed. Elections have already been completed, and where the Christian Democratic Union has taken the lead, and they are going to form a government in adjustments and seat adjustments with the alternative for Germany. They are anti-immigrants. Anyway, let's see what happens. The situation is not as easy to be assessed and predicted. The conflict areas are there. The Afghanistan, Pakistan has got a hand on the terrorist group. Around, say, more than 40 people have been apprehended by the Pakistan agencies, Pakistan security personnel there. In Afghanistan, the person Sharifullah, who was a student in Kabul 8th class, he has passed his 8th class. Very small education he had. He joined the ISIS, Daesh, having got a training or collaboration or assistance from Syria and Iraq. It is a very dangerous phenomena taking place in Afghanistan. They have previously, been busy and carrying out atrocities, killings of the innocent people in Syria and Iraq. Now they are in Afghanistan. Let's see what happens, because huge arms and weapons and ammunition was left behind, maybe deliberately by the Americans. It was the Joe Biden administration who made a very, what should I say, very bad decisions. It was not conducive at all, not in favor of peace in the region. Pakistan has been suffering a lot, and they are still suffering on account of the terrorism, especially on the west. Now it is, has gone into Balochistan's area. Pakistan need to have a very, political oriented, socio-economic political oriented. It is a narrative that has to be developed, religious, politico, economic narrative has to be developed by the government of Pakistan, by the Pakistani parliament, so that a permanent solution could be worked out for Balochistan and KP, etc. Economy in Pakistan is in shambles. What happened with Hassan Iqbal in the Harvard Union, you must have also seen that. He was taken to task by the young students group, and he was never expecting that students will be so critical on him and the government of Shahbaz Sharif. And what happened with Ishaq Dar, the foreign minister and the deputy prime minister, when he was in New York, United Nations OIC contact group? Then he wanted to have a meeting with one of the officials or the senators of the Trump administration, but he was unable. This is the success story of Pakistan's foreign policy. As against that, Jaishankar is found always very active, although he was not appropriate in claiming that the Kashmir has been solved. And that has been very well contested by the chief minister of Indian occupied Kashmir, Umar Abdullah, the grandson of Sheikh Abdullah. They were previously with the Congress, So you have to look into in your own propositions. Keeping Pakistan on the list of keep on discussing as Pakistan is spreading terrorism, whereas Pakistan had been and has been a victim of terrorism itself. And you always claim creating a situation. Now you have got Bangladesh on your eastern wing, eastern side, and Dr. Yunus, you should have learned some politics from Dr. Yunus also. He is an economist, he is a technocrat, he is an expert in poverty alleviation. He is being specially invited or has been invited by the presidency of China. He will fly with a very special plane to be sent. Next week you will see the Chinese president will be welcoming the chief advisor of Bangladesh. This is what the technical strategic mistake was committed. It was a blunder, rather, not a mistake. It was a blunder on the part of the Jaishankar and Modi group, who are ruling on the pattern of RSS extremism, extreme Hindu terrorism. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching Dr. Abdul Jabbar Khan official YouTube channel. Stay blessed.